So today, sorry about the double video day yesterday, but today is going to be a bit shorter. We're going to do rotations with matrices today. There's just a lot in yesterday, but today we're going to do rotations with matrices. Again, these are not in your journal, so you will need to put these in your notes. In fact, this is going to be your daily note check, is to make sure that you have these rotation matrices in your notes. So make sure they're in there, including identifying which matrix is which. This is going to work a lot like the reflection matrices. It's just different numbers. If we know what our transformation is going to be, what our rotation is going to be, then we know exactly what to do with rotating a particular object using the matrices. Again, you do not need to memorize these. You will be given these matrices on any quizzes or tests. However, you will need to know how to use them. So let's just do a couple quick examples. Again, this should be a relatively short podcast to make up for the double yesterday. Let's go through it real quick. I have ABC triangle with vertices at 2, 8, 5, -4, and 6, 0 is rotated 270 degrees clockwise. Given the find the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing my coordinate matrix. Okay, my coordinate matrix for ABC is 2, 8, 5, -4, and -6, 0. Okay. Now I know I'm going to have to wind up with points A prime, B prime, and C prime, so that's going to go there. And as usual, just like last time, my transformation matrix is going to go first. And that's because of dimension matching for multiplying. So I want to go 270 degrees clockwise. Let's go back and look. Well, now, that presents a little bit of an issue because all of my matrices we're given are for counterclockwise. So we have to figure out which one is 270 clockwise. Well, fortunately, that's not too hard because 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same as 270 clockwise. And 270 degrees counterclockwise is the same as 90 degrees clockwise. So I just have to be careful. I don't just look for the 270, but I look for whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise as well, so I know I select the correct matrix. All right, so this is the matrix I want in this case. 0, -1, 1, 0. And I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication. So starting multiplying, again, I'm going to do row 1 times column 1. So that's 0 times 2 is 0. And -1 times 8 is -8. So that's just going to be 0 plus -8 is -8. So I don't want to leave the highlights there, so I'm just going to do that. And we get a -8 there. Next, I do row 1 times column 2. 0 times 5 is 0. -1 times -4 is +4. So again, once we do that, that's just a sum of +4. I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to get a 4 here. Then I do row 1 times column 3. 0 times 6 is 0. -1 times 0 is 0. 0 and 0, that's pretty easy. 0 plus 0 is 0. All right, your first question is going to be what number is going to go next? So there's your first question of the day. Our next number, we're going to go row 1 times column 2. Row 1 times column 2 is 1 times 5 is 5. 0 times -4 is 0. 5 plus 0 is going to give me a 5. And finally, 1 times this times this. 1 times -6 is -6 plus 0 times 0 is 0, so -6. And hopefully figured out what A prime, the Y coordinate was there. We've got now the coordinates of my rotated matrix. And since rotation can be kind of tricky, this matrix thing can be really handy. or finding coordinates. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. I'm going to go ahead and give you a coordinate matrix. This time it's a quadrilateral, so 3, 5, 4, 6, -2, -3, and -1, -4. Okay? That's my coordinate matrix. That got a little bit big, didn't it? That's okay. We'll put our result matrix down here. I want to rotate this 180 degrees, and I did specify a direction, just 180, because clockwise, counterclockwise doesn't matter with 180. So we have to find our reflection matrix, our rotation matrix, excuse me. Let's -1, 0, 0, -1. So we're going to put that first. And now we start doing our multiplying. Okay. Row 1 times column 1. That's going to be -3 plus 0 is -3. Row 1 times column 2. -1 times 4 is -4 plus 0 is -4. Are you noticing a pattern here? What are we doing to our x-coordinates? We're just changing the sign, aren't we? If I do column 3, -1 times -2 is 2. -1 times -1 is 1. How about that? We find a pattern sometimes when we're doing this. How about the second wave? Our second wave, I'll switch to the green highlighter, or the blue highlighter. How about that? Column 2, or row 2 times column 1. 0 times 3, that 0 goes away, and then -1 times 5 gives me a -5 down here. Then we do column 2. Okay? 0 times 4, the 4 goes away, -1 times 6 gives me a -6. Do you see the pattern? I hope you do, because filling in the last two numbers is your final quiz of the day.